Yo, what up, YouTube? For the people that have been around a long time in the DebateCraft community, this would have been the DDO community. There was a series that I did called IDGAF. Not going to specify what that stands for blocking reasons and YouTube like demonetizing things, but it's our series. I don't give a freak. And this is Lunatic. And what this series is going to be essentially a community highlight where we get to know the member, going through their history with DDO, some information about them. We are doing a smaller series of this, which you're probably going to see on the channel, where it's just asking questions on the spot. The questions are a little bit more fun and meant to just put people in an environment where they are not expecting some of the craziness that comes from those questions. This is going to be a little bit more tame, and it just gives you a chance to meet some of the people in the community that you may not have met before. Uh, so, Lunatic, how about you introduce yourself first?
Hey, my name's Lunatic. Been a part of this community since I was 16 years old. I am now 33, so more than half my life. And made a lot of good friends here. Well, I would say I have more, social friends that I get along with from this community than I do in real life. So, I mean, I definitely have enjoyed my time in this community.
So to piggyback off that, the community originally was debate.com, which then
Correct.
became, if I'm not mistaken, it then became
Debate.org.
debate.org, and then it became debate art, and then it became DebateCraft. That is the official, I guess, lineage of the community. There's been some other branching sites that have tried to do things, but as far as like a spiritual successor, that's the four sites. And how old were you when debate.com came out? Like, or when you started, or when you joined debate.com even?
I was 16 when Debate.com, or when I first joined it. I don't know how old it had been at that point, but I know it was still relatively new because I remember like the first leaderboard. Uh, it was Logical Master way before Danielle ever was the top of the leaderboard over there. So yeah, I think it was relatively new when I joined.
So, what drew you to debate.com? What was it at the time that, I mean, it had to have been some form of debate, I would assume, but what was the catch for you of joining? Like, why did you initially join? Not just even broadly, think specifically, like when you went to it, what got you on the site?
Well, so yes, to the more open version of that is that yeah, it was debate class. I was in Lincoln Douglas, and I was researching topics that they wanted us to debate in high school, and you have to argue both sides of Lincoln Douglas. So I figured I needed to research some arguments for the other side because I only knew the side that I believed, and I found some debates on debate.com, and those debates I found particularly convincing. I thought that was such a cool thing that someone could like actually sit there and debate online and have people like view it and judge it. It was kind of like a different form of debate because I was huge into debate, so it was kind of cool to be able to play out my hobby outside of just the classroom. So that was what initially made me join, but what made me stick around, I would say, was the social interactions. You meet some very different and colorful people, people that on face value, I don't think I would have ever, given the opportunity to become friends with or even get to know, but you get to know people and you get to people who you would think you would never be friends with, you end up being friends with, you end up learning different perspectives. And I feel like being a part of this website and this community has definitely opened my mind up a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure. And you were, when you joined, you were tough, correct? That was your account?
Well, my first account was actually philosophical.
Oh, interesting. And then it went to tough, and then it was
Yeah, I
lunatic.
later became tough. Um, and then eventually, when debate art came around, I went with my gamer monotag, which is lunatic. I've been lunatic since early Xbox days. So,
For the old heads there. That's just
yep,
tough. You were president of the site for a while too, correct? On debate.
yeah, in
The
2012
yeah, that is awesome.
or
How
2013.
was your experience
Which
with
is,
that? I will tell you, at least from my personal experience when I joined, the predecessors to debate. Lord, I'm mixing so many names now to the main debate site. It was, I have yet to find something, DDO, I have yet to find something that was as active of a community as DDO had. Like all the predecessors, even the one we're Max and I are running now, trying to keep the community together. The thing that I missed the most was how active the community was. Right, like when you popped on, there was
Oh yeah.
thousands of debate. The community forum was there. There was all kinds of drama at all points. There was just always
Oh
some
yeah.
type of it was Facebook for debate nerds. Um, and I
Yep.
totally missed it. Is that one of your favorite parts? It sounds like it is. Is that one of your favorite parts of it as well?
Oh yeah. I think we really underestimated how thriving that community was. Like I kind of just took it for granted, and now that we've been for years had a debate community that's not even a tenth of that size, like it's really made me go back and appreciate how successful DDO was in its prime.
Tell me about the tie into the other question I kind of dropped. Tell me about being president of it. How was the presidency when in your term?
It was a very interesting experience. So at that point, I was technically Air Max was the first president, but back then, presidents kind of came with moderator powers. Air Max was the only one to ever receive that ability to be like a mod as well. But when they were doing the second presidency, Juggle was still technically in charge of it. Juggle was the developers of the website, and the interactions with them were kind of rare and few between. So I kind of was afforded a lucky opportunity to get in touch and stay in touch with their representative, which is Alex Crum, also known as Crum Believable, is her username. So I have some old school emails I could always reference if anyone's interested from her. I can tell you about some of our plans for the sites, some of the things we were talking about, some of the things we got changed. And I was pretty much the last president that had communication with any sort of Juggle employee since they kind of left the site after or a little bit before my term in presidency ended.
So, and you're an avid Mafia player from. I mean, I know this because I know you. That's like ironically for people that don't know, Lunatic and I is probably my oldest friend on the website. I think we've been gaming and doing debates and arguing with each other and having stints where we were mad at each other for almost like 10 years now. I joined probably a few years after he did. But in my time knowing you, Mafia has been one of your favorite pastimes. What about
Oh yeah.
Mafia do you like?
I've always really liked the game. So I played in the guy who first introduced Mafia over on debate.com. His name was Logical Master. He hosted a game, and the forum games are pretty popular at that time. But that was like the first time that specific game style was introduced, and it was really popular. Like back then, we would easily have 20 plus players per game, and like the games were all hundreds and hundreds of pages long, just people interacting with each other. It's more of just a social deduction game. Obviously, that part's fun trying to figure out who's who, but it's kind of like a really fun social game too. You get to know people and the workings of their mind. Eventually, each person you play with, they have their own tells and things you can identify them as town or scum with, and it's like at the end of the day, it is a game, but I feel like I'm pretty well connected to a lot of the Mafia community as well. It's just been something I've really enjoyed as a hobby over the past 16 years.
Yeah, I've loved it myself. It's just been such a fun game to learn to try to master and not be very good at the same time. Uh,
Exactly.
I'm gonna hit you with actually in that spirit. I'm gonna hit you with some favorites. We're gonna go down memory lane for a second. Who was your favorite? Actually, let's do two. Who was your favorite Mafia player, and who do you think the best Mafia player in the history of all iterations of the site is?
Ooh. So there's man, there's a couple people that could compete for that tournament. One of my favorites. I have a couple of there, but like he goes really back. I don't even know if anybody would remember him, but I really loved Black Void.
He played.
Black Void kind.
Oh, to
Yeah.
tag into that, he actually played on I believe on a game. Was it Debate Art or Debate Craft? I forget. I don't think it was Debate Craft.
Oh, I
He,
didn't know that.
yeah, I think he recently had played in a game not so long ago, if I recall.
If he did, I didn't know about that. But
It may
yeah,
have been
Black Void.
F16. It was him or F16. I forget. But yeah, he's been. I'm interested. Somebody fact check me on that. because I think he was actually around not too long ago, and everybody was shocked to see him. But go ahead and continue. Sorry, I just wanted to add that little piece of info that I think I'm right on. But why did you like
I
Black
would
Void?
I wouldn't say he was the best. I would just say he was my favorite because he was really fun to interact with, and he was really nice to me. He's one of the first people who was really kind of got me lukewarm to like sticking around to Mafia and actually enjoying it. Um, I just really liked how he would read people. He was just a cool player. He was a cool guy, and I wish he stuck around. As far as like who would be the best, like I can think of like three candidates right off the top of my head. I would say your Rails would be up there. That guy was amazing. But having modded Mafia a lot, it was actually insane to see Blue Still in play. Blue Still, like he would somehow like guess the entire Mafia team on day phase one, and like it didn't matter what team you put him on. You could put him on Colt, on Mafia, you could put him on third party. Like he always fucking carried in his role. The guy was amazing. So Blue Still would probably be one of the best ones. I This one's kind of a hidden pick too, but as a close second, I would put Razor because I do remember a game where Razor played an amazing cop game. Never outing. He had a guilty result that he had never ended up outing because he didn't want to give up that he was the cop, and he was able to get this person lynched just through different reasonings other than having to out himself as the cop, and then he was able to go on to the next night phase and get another result. The way he played cop was so crazy. I don't know. After watching that, I've always thought of him as like a really good Mafia player. But I'd say like just from a modding standpoint, I've seen Blue still crack games like nobody else has.
Blue Steel, actually, I would agree with you. If I were picking the best debater on the site and the best Mafia player, I think Blue Steel takes both of them. I had a very close friendship with Blue Steel for a long time before he went off to do lawyer stuff, and vanished from the face of the earth. But he
Yeah.
was, one an amazing friend to me. I was very blessed to have him as a friend. Like I cannot speak highly of him. Some of the people know some of the history with DDO. Blue Still's like one of the reasons I didn't go through a whole bunch of stuff. So always will be grateful to him that he was just an amazing person and an amazing friend. But on top of that, I mean, just a vicious debater and, like as you
Oh
said, a
yeah.
vicious Mafia player. Like Blue Still was like, I have modded games with him as well, where it's just like it starts. Especially in live Mafia, he was a fucking demon. He could call people out on things that I didn't think was even possible just from facial
I think that
expressions and
guy, his calling in life was to be a detective, and he he missed out on that because that guy he can read people on another level.
disgusting, just disgustingly good. Let's go to, speaking of that, I've named my favorite debater, or what I would consider favorite and the best debater. Who do you think the best debater is of all time?
So I kind of fail on that question just because I haven't been following debate as much on Dart and on DebateCraft, so I couldn't tell you who the like current new best debater is. But I think one of my man, that's a hard one because there was a lot of really good debaters. This one was kind of like I don't think a lot of people would agree with me, but I really like 16K Adams back in the day. I wouldn't say he was the best debater, but like he was a very hardcore conservative, but he actually made a lot of really good points in his debates. I remember kind of being swayed by some of his debates, having read them.
You
But
know, he went
Roy
into a group.
Latham
Oh yeah,
was pretty amazing. Yeah,
Roy was Roy was also a demonic debater. Do you know 16K
he,
turned into a groiper lately? I don't know if
I
he's
did
still
not.
there. I have to find a video that had showed me one time to send back over to you. But there was a video where it was a he somehow got a quite a big following of it, where he was questioning, like doing a conspiracy theory in front of maybe it was Charlie Kirk when Charlie Kirk was alive. But he did the whole Nick Fuentes movement. I'm not sure if he was following Nick Fuentes directly, but did a conspiracy theory thing right in front of a famous person and got pretty well known off of it for a while. I've actually spoken to him a few times since he left DDO, and yeah, still very conservative, if not more conservative than ever, ironically.
Oh wow, yeah. Never figured he would probably switch. He's one of those people like Pie. It's just conservative till they die.
MAGA, more than MAGA. I think he may actually hate MAGA. I'm pretty sure he may be like past the MAGA movement where MAGA is not enough. Um,
But yeah,
let's
to answer your question, I would say Roy Latham. Like you could go off his record alone, or you could just read any of his debates. That guy, he was a genius, and he definitely was one of the most feared debaters on that website.
for forever. For I mean, still until the site went down, I would say he was probably one of the most difficult debaters on the site.
Yep.
Let's take it to a little bit more interesting avenue. Who do you think the most controversial member of the community has been?
I mean, I don't see how you could not say RM,
Mine
Rational
is,
Madman.
I think that's an objective answer. RM is just always going to have been the most. I don't know what you would label him: controversial, frustrating, interesting. There's a bunch of adjectives you can use to describe him. Still around, still very loud and very opinionated. And I think RM's probably the answer for most people. Let's remove RM. Take RM out of it. Who's the
Okay.
most controversial person?
Oh man, there's so many different levels to that question too, because it depends on what you're talking about with controversy. Just like a big troll or somebody that stuck around that you've been on both sides of. Because like you could look at YYW and say he's kind of a runner up for that. If there's a controversy, you can guarantee he's somewhere in the mix, just arguing with everybody about it and being super like you know how he is, just super indignant about whatever his opinion is. But I don't think him as a whole is controversial. I think he just likes to be involved in the controversy. If you're looking at like controversial users, like another one that would come up would be Zarouet, who I think kind of liked the attention back then. Would just had some crazy takes and loved to be against like 50 people telling them they're all wrong. Didn't give a shit. She was up there. You've had members like Coveney who are pretty controversial. You had people who were doxing, like was her name Emma Rose or something like that? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I'm surprised you haven't named
She
I'm a bench yet.
I'm a bench was controversial, but he was relatively harmless. Like he was kind of more he just liked the popularity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I didn't really see him as controversial. He never. I would say Wilted was more controversial than I'm a bench, or just because he's Wilted likes to be a little edgier with his takes and opinions. But I'm a bench would just kind of be a dick to people because people thought it was funny. So
What is your favorite memory of the site in general? It can be a time, it can be a game of Mafia, it can be a debate, it can be a whole series of things, it can be an election, it can be anything. What is your favorite memory
so
of any iteration?
hands down, I would have to say it was in Google Hangouts became a thing on that site. So at first, what that ended up being was before we started just hanging out there almost every night or every weekend, it was more of a debate thing. I remember having actual debates with people, live debates. We had face cams and everything, and I was doing that. I was addicted to that. I was having so much fun, and I can't remember the user's name now because he kind of disappeared. But I was debating this one guy on there all the time because he was like one of the few other people that would do the live thing. But I felt like I got really good. I was honing my debate skills a lot doing that. And then after that kind of died down, people were still hanging around in the Google Hangouts, and eventually we started doing live Mafia in there. I mean, you were a part of that first one we did with Blue Still,
I was
Air
about to
Max.
ask you, can you name the five people that were in that first game? I still think I have it somewhere because I can name four. I can't name the
I know
five.
Blue Still and Air Max and you,
Yeah,
and
it
I
was
don't
me, you,
remember who
Blue.
else.
Yeah, I missed the fifth person. It was me, you,
Might
Blue,
have been
Steel, and Air.
Razor. I know Razor and Fort Trouble were in some.
Yeah,
Eventually, Thet and Skeps became avid users. YYW, obviously.
it
I mean,
was good,
there's a lot of people in those.
good times. Well, to keep this interview under 30 minutes, I want you to what what is if you were framing the community, I know you're appreciative toward it just as much as I am. How could you summarize the debate debate.com, debate.org, debate art, DebateCraft community? How would you summarize your experience with it as a whole?
I love it. It's a social network for nerds. I love that you can have a heated discussion with somebody on DebateCraft or this community in general, and then you could still call that person your friend. You could have just vehement difference of opinions, and then go on to be friends. I got so used to this community and that type of interaction with people. I would go on Facebook and I would like argue someone's political take, and then I would realize, oh, that person hated me and blocks me because of my view on gun rights or whatever. That's not going to happen on a debate website. You can have a vehement disagreement with somebody without it always meaning that they're the worst person in the world. So you kind of have to take that interaction and separate it from like a Facebook interaction. But if you really think about it, it's like how many people on this site that have you had like vehement flame wars with and disagreements that you can now consider like really good friends? I mean, for me, it's a lot.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll ask one more then, actually, as a follow up. Being one of the, I think there's three of us now actively either in leadership, ownership, and development of the new website. What do you think we can do to bring back the liveliness and the like that what you consider the lifeblood of debate.com and debate.org? What is missing from the new iterations that the old iterations had?
Honestly, I think you guys are on track on this one. I think the fact that you guys have active developers is mainly like a thing. Uh, I've noticed the site has been more and more active. There's constantly activity going on in the forums, but you're working with a small community from the get go because we're kind of just the leftover remnants from debate art. So, I mean, you guys are doing the right thing by putting out these YouTube videos. You guys are doing the right thing by constantly, taking user feedback and adding developments in, and you just got to keep on that. And then eventually the site will end up working its way and getting more SEO, search engine optimization. If you don't know what that means, it's just gotta get its word out there. People have got to, if you're googling something, it's got to pop up on the first page in the forum. That'll happen by getting more debates. I know you guys are working on that. There's voting tournaments. There's constantly debate tournaments, things that will keep people, putting content out there that will show up in search engines. We just got to keep doing what we're doing.
And if you could close it out for me, have you got any last words on this interview for anyone or for the community itself? Give me a closing statement.
I just want to say thank you for having me here. I love the community. I as much as I've clashed with them in the past, I do consider everybody on DebateCraft good friends. I've had some phenomenal experiences. It's been a good time waster and hobby for me. Put hours upon hours into Mafia. I put more hours into Mafia than I have in any game or event or activity in my life. So it's part of me, and so is the website. And as long as any sort of community from DebateCraft exists, I will be there, and I will always cherish being a member.
All right. I appreciate it, man. That is Lunatic. And thank you, everybody, for listening. Hopefully, we can hit this with any member of the community that wants just running down memory lane, some favorite experiences. Lunatic is one of the less controversial people. I'm sure as we get to do this, there's going to be some more controversial people that will have some interesting takes on prior events. So I'm interested to see where the series goes, but I think this is just a walk down memory lane series for the community. So hopefully they can appreciate it. Thanks again, Luna, for joining us. And well,
No
thank you for
problem.
being the first person to do it. And we shall do more in the future. Peace, guys.
All right.